It's time again for another installment of The Basics, and on today's show I'm moving back over to the Transformers TCG to go more in depth with character cards because I've only touched on them and I want to give you some more information, so let's get started, shall we? Now, on previous episodes of this show, I have briefly touched on character cards and what they do. They are the primary basis for battle in this game. Autobots versus Decepticons. So you'd be using an Autobot deck, your opponent would be using a Decepticon deck, or vice versa. I want to get more into detail about these. I'll start off with the fact that they are double-sided cards, and you do flip them over the course of battle. Your character card has an alt mode, which is its vehicle mode, and its robot mode. Typically, you start with the card in its alt mode, and you would flip it over to initiate battle. The reason for this being is that most of these characters in this game have better attributes when you flip them over to their robot mode for battle, as if you know anything about Transformers, you'd see that they are deadlier, more warrior-like in robot mode. For example, with Ironhide, he has attack worth 3, 7 health, and defense worth 3 in his alt mode. When you flip it over to bot mode, his attack becomes 4, health is 7, and his defense is down to 2. And even though Ironhide's a pretty tough guy, he does have more attack. Now, that being said, some character cards have extra lore on them. So for example, Chop Shop, who's an Insecticon. When you flip to this mode, scrap all upgrades on this character. So if you have any upgrade cards that are on him, when you go back to the alt mode, which is his bug mode, those cards are null and void. For each one scrapped this way, draw a card and repair 1 damage from one of your Insecticons. So this card, as a playable character, helps other Insecticons in play. His attack is 4, his health is 9, his defense is 2. When you flip him over to his robot mode, his attack is still 4, his health is 9, but his defense drops to 1. And again, if you've watched any episodes of the original Transformers cartoon or the original movie, Insecticons look tough, but they're not really. In his bot mode, he has additional lore. When this mode attacks, you may move an upgrade from one of your other characters to this one. So even though he has low defense and his attack is meh, you can upgrade him, and there are specific cards for certain characters as well. Of course, when you're defending, you choose to go back to bot mode. Other characters either have no lore on them, like Ironhide, or they have very limited lore. So for example, Starscream, he adds Tough 1 in bot mode, flip 1 more battle card when defending. So he only has a defense of 1, but you flip another battle card from your hand and it might prove very useful. Ramjet has nothing. This is just some examples. Ruckus has nothing. So you have some cards like Wheeljack when he's in bot mode. While you have a weapon in your scrap pile, this has bold 3. Flip 3 more battle cards when attacking. So Wheeljack's very useful in battle. Optimus Prime, bold 1. Flip more battle card when attacking. You get the idea. And I've also gone over the star rating on some cards. You may only have 25 stars in your team, whether you're Autobot or Decepticon. So you have to keep an eye on the star rating. Some characters don't have any, some of them have a lot. Some of them have a varied amount, so you really have to pay attention to that when you're choosing your characters for your team. There's a lot of thought that goes into that, more so than the rest of your draw deck. That being said, you might think that's a lot to remember when you're choosing your characters for your team, but it's really not. You want to make sure that they have balanced attack and defense and a lot of health. The more health, the longer you can survive in battle. And keep an eye on those star ratings and tailor some of your cards to the special lore and abilities that your characters have. Have a great day, everybody.